Hey everybody, today I have a really good friend of mine with me. His name is Keith Breseé. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because he has a little accent mark on the end of the E, and I want to make sure I get that right because I think a long time ago I used to call him Keith Breseé, but it's Breseé. And he's really big in SEO. He's worked for some really big names, but because of contractual obligations or whatever you want to say it, like he can't tell us who they are. I know some of them, but they can't be released to the public. Trust me, he's a really big name in SEO. We're here in Brentwood. He's worked with some big names of people that are around here. Um, and he's also done a lot of things around conversions, funnels. He knows a lot of things about marketing. So I'm hoping today you get a lot of awesome value out of this interview with him. So I'm going to start off at the top. Keith, even though I've said just a little bit about you, I'm sure there's a lot more. So tell me who you are, what do you do, and why will people who are watching want to hear from you?
Totally. I started in SEO and I still primarily do SEO. That's what my clients come to me for largely, or content marketing. They're identical twins. Um, so I've been doing that for eight, 8-ish years, give or take, somewhere in there. And yeah, like you said, I've done some work for some pretty cool clients. Some that I can mention though are Remax Corporate, uh, Dr. Axe, HCA, and like you said, there are some there in the Brentwood area that are into helping people with their finances that I cannot um, uh, say their name just because it was a 12-page non-disclosure agreement. But yeah, and yeah, that's the short of it.
Okay. So tell me, what's the most impressive thing that your clients say about you? So when your clients brag about you, about the results that you've got them, what's the biggest thing that they say? Oh, Keith did this for me. My business went from here to there. What does that look like?
Um, so what they say about me behind my back, I don't know, and I hope it's good. I'm pretty sure it is. Um, um, uh, Two clients. One I will. Uh, One client in particular, who must not be named. Um, we took them from 350-ish thousand monthly visitors to 1.5 million monthly visitors in about a year, and then in the following 6 to 9 months, doubled that again. So um, they are now fluctuating between like 2.8 and like 3.2 million monthly visitors. So averaging 3-ish. Um, so that's one big, that's a case study that I'm actually leading with to go after a lot of promotion here shortly.
Awesome. I wonder myself what would happen to my website if I had 3 million viewers a month. That would be insane in a good
You
way.
probably have to upload your, probably have to upgrade your servers.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did. We kept it actually the first time so they were averaging uh 700 800,000 monthly visitors, and we were getting spikes up to nearly 2 million. Like we would do heavy pushes of stuff, and we'd get spikes up to 2 million. I think the first couple were like 1.7 1.8-ish, and then we were getting 2 million-ish. That wasn't Those were only spikes, and then they would drop back down. But those spikes with this client who must not be named in the Brentwood area, who helps people with their personal finances, um, is yeah. Um, we had to upgrade their servers because their servers went down for about 10 hours the first time that happened. And yeah, so we had to upgrade substantially on those, which is a good
Awesome.
problem.
Yeah, awesome. So what's the most impressive thing? No, we already covered that one. Sorry. What's the surprisingly easiest thing that you found when trying to create your own personal brand? What was the easiest thing for you to do?
So when you say, is that just for context, is that for me personally or my clients?
Maybe both. Like, so what naturally comes easy to you? Like other people say, "Oh my God, this is so hard," but it's like when I did it, that was the easiest thing, not only for yourself but also for others.
So, so I have a very particular set of skills, not trying to quote Liam Neeson, that are personable skills that have translated very nicely over to SEO. And those skills are why I've been able to crush it. And so what that is if I want to become someone's friend or I want to get in their inner circle. So for example, and he won't mind me saying this because he'll appreciate it. A close friend of mine, he's like a brother now. He is the high up. He's in charge of all marketing for Dr. Axe, and Dr. Axe, they do, I believe they broke 200 million this year, or they came very close. And that's a year. And I started working my way into his inner circle 4 years ago, 5 years ago, gosh. And I was like, I want to get to Michael and Evan, who is the VP of marketing and president of Axe. I want to get to them. One, they're just cool guys. Two, I wanted Dr. Axe as the client, but they just seem like really cool dudes, and they really are. I love them. And I was like, I want to get to them. How do I get to them? And so I did my best to research and just have, between researching and natural conversations with people in this area, because they're here in Franklin as well, or Brentwood, or whatever. I was able to map out a social circle and who their first people that they go to are, and then there's like a second degree and third and fourth degree. And I started 3 degrees away from them, and I worked my way to becoming eventually a client, and then now to like being brothers with them. And that was on purpose, and that was very strategic, and they know that.
And it doesn't bug them.
And no, because one of them in particular does the same. Because he's like, yeah, I want to level up, and your net worth is your net worth, or your network is your net worth, whatever.
Same. Yep.
And so that's how I've got all my clients. I've shaken all my clients' hands. I've sat down I've had one-on-one dinners with billionaires who own big, stupid ass big businesses. And it's all from applying a handful of principles that I've learned from a series of books. But I say all that to say, that has translated to my personal success, but then that has translated directly to my success with SEO, because inside of SEO, there's a couple how do I say this? And we can get more into this, but one of the things to skyrocket, that I've been able to skyrocket my growth with anything, or online traffic or SEO wise, is having really amazing relationships, or as amazing as possible relationships with as many people as possible. So yeah. So for context wise, my very first blog post that I published 4 years ago, maybe, I got 30,000 people to a brand new blog. I bought the domain, and within 45 days of buying the domain, I had 30,000 people to my website. Brand new website, 1 blog post, 1 content upgrade, 1 opt-in. That's it. And I've been able to repeat that with bigger numbers over and over. And it's all about who you know. And
yep.
Yeah, that's the short version.
Yeah, I would have to say the one thing I've admired a lot about you is your approach to networking. Even like when you and I have brainstormed in the past and talked through, like, hey, how do we grow this business? How do we go do this or whatever? You are very hands-on, almost sales approach. Like a lot of people just think about marketing. For example, I'll just make some posts and attraction marketing, and I'll just wait for the crowd to come to me. You're like the opposite. You're like, I've got some value and I'm going to go find those people, make the phone calls, send the emails, like do whatever it takes and build, one relationship at a time and build this thing out. And it's been impressive. This is something I think personal branding needs a lot more of, because I see so many people that just think I'm going to make a video a day, and the audience will show up and then customers will call me. And it does happen, but they think because they see guys like Gary Vee do that, they think that's how it works, but they don't realize in the beginning, Gary Vee didn't do that. He did with Wine Library, but I guarantee you at the same time, he was like calling places to get his distribution up, and it took a long time. So anyway, I've really appreciated your approach. Next question. What part about growing your personal business, personal brand, have you found the hardest? Like the thing, it's like you struggle with it.
The same thing that I'm good at. Because, seriously. So my biggest struggle, which is what I'm working on right now, is I've been doing work for clients for so long, and I'm a plumber with a leaky house. So my blog, my website has around 1,000 visitors a month. I have a couple posts. That's it. I haven't updated it. I'm in the process of updating it right now. I haven't done that. I haven't promoted myself digitally in a long time. And so I am in the process of doing that right now. Because shaking hands, while I can sit down with the chief marketing officer of a 60-something billion dollar a year company, HCA, and have a one-on-one time with him, that's not scalable. And so if I want to grow and get more clients, you got to figure out a way to do that digitally, which is what I'm working on.
Cool. And I think that probably plays a lot to my strength. I think this is why we make such a good mix, because I'm definitely the guy that I'm such the introvert. A lot of people think I'm an extrovert. I'm totally the introvert. And I'm also the guy that would just rather make content and figure out a scale. I use automation and things like that to kind of hide behind. That's why I'm so impressed with your go out and shake hands and find the people. Anyway, I think it's a great mix. All right. Next question. Who are people that are outside of your business that you could recommend for me to interview? Even if it's just one person, who do you think other people would enjoy getting value from?
What type of value would you want this person to be able to give?
Oh, in the space of personal branding, personal brand marketing, the circle that we run in.
Right. The very first person that came to my mind was Neil Patel. He is the founder of Mailshake, and he's the founder of a lot more businesses than that are all successful. But Mailshake is the outreach software that I use, and it's amazing. He's one. His cousin that I was talking to, his cousin is Neil Patel, and if you're in digital marketing, everyone knows Neil Patel.
Right.
NeilPatel.com. He's so legit. It's not even funny. I have a lot of admiration and respect for both of those guys.
Cool. Awesome. What's the biggest problem that you love to solve for others? So when someone says, Keith, I've got this problem, you're like, bam, I'm that's my jam right there. I'm on it.
So I'm talking to this one lady right now. I can't say her name yet.
Is it hard to pronounce?
No.
I know. I'm just being funny.
Right. I don't think she would mind me saying, but I haven't actually asked her. I don't want to be respectful to that. Yep. But she is huge in social media. I say huge. She's a huge. Her name is huge in social media. Her personal name and what she does and her agency is huge. She does 10 million a year. And she wants her entire business, like 80% of her revenue comes from ads, ads, not ads. And she's not an Instagram model either. And she wants to grow her business, and she knows the Dr. Axe crew and other people like them, and she wants to grow. But ads are great, and I think everyone should do them at a certain point anyway. And they definitely have their place. But she wants to lower her cost per acquisition and basically make a lot more money. And she wants to do that organically. And so I'm taking her paid strategy and mapping out what her customers are doing, what her customers' problems are, how she's solving that, and all that stuff, and basically creating a growth system for them, like that financial person that we talked about earlier,
right?
Roughly 3-ish million monthly visitors now. He or she has a personal brand, like the client who must not be named. They have a personal brand. They're huge. Tens of millions of people know them. But his revenue stream is like, up until about 5 years ago, was like 85% from his one. If I say what the channel is, you
it would
narrow it down. This one, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
85% of his revenue was from that one source, and he's making like 300 million a year, or she is, and they wanted to change that up, and so now SEO is it's over 30% now of their total revenue. So they're happy with that. And so taking that paid or that one channel and creating a growth system that is going to last a very long time. Even if they stop doing everything today that he's doing on SEO and organic stuff, it's going to last him years, realistically. And so that transition and mapping that out and doing the strategy and all of that, I have a whole lot of fun doing. Awesome. I mean, I really love waking up and doing what I do. So that's good.
Okay, last format question. What's one odd errata fact about you that maybe even you don't want everybody to know? It'll be our little secret. And if it gets out, we'll know who told it. It'll be people that watch the show, and we'll come get you guys. So nobody tell. No, seriously. What's one fun fact about Keith Breseé?
This is totally okay to share, and this is one of the. I was like, what's fun and cool. So brief story that for context for this fact. Well, the story is the thing. So I used to do professional magic. I used to do close-up magic, coin and cards. And I'm with a couple of routines, even though I'm really out of practice, I can still perform them well. And I loved the adrenaline of walking up to a total crowd on the street or in the mall or wherever and just performing for them. And then eventually I was doing paid gigs. And when I was learning, before my first paid gig, there used to be a magic shop here in Nashville. It's called It's Magic, and like you can come and buy magic books and DVDs and props, and it was primarily close-up magic. And so I would go there after I was still in college then. I would go there, and the store manager like taught me magic, like hands-on. And when he wasn't doing stuff around the store, or I would be helping him, we became really good friends. I'm still good friends with him today, and this like 15 years ago or something like that. 13 years ago. And so he's teaching me magic, and I'm going there, and he would let me have free reign of all the books. I could open up the books, practice, and I'm there like 5-6 hours, 3-4 times a week. I was spending way too much time there, but I got really good really fast. So this one day, this old guy starts coming in. His name is Steve. And I have no idea who he is, how good he is, nothing like that. I have no idea about him. And I'm standing there this one day, practicing this one routine out of this book, who's all from this one guy. And he comes in, he just stands over there, he's watching me. And I'm like, oh, do you do magic? Can you just quick small talk? He's like, yeah, I fiddle. And so he sees what I'm doing. He's like, oh, here's a better way to do that. And he shows me this thing. And it was this one little thing made night and day difference of how this trick was. It was just so like one simple change just made the trick 10x better. And a couple of days later, he comes by and he's like, hey, let me see the routine you were working on. Show it to him. He's like, oh, that's amazing. And he proceeds to then teach me things that most magicians, like, you can't, the stuff he's teaching me, you can't learn in books most of the time. And he spent 2 hours with me one-on-one there in the store, ignoring everyone else. And he taught me one-on-one magic. And
wow.
It's stuff that when I still apply a deck of cards and some friends like, hey, Keith, you still do magic? Yeah, we got a deck. You want to do something? Sure. You know, it's stuff that I still apply. And like the best of the best teach or use. And so that's the story. But that's the first part of it. So in football, the Super Bowl is like the cream of the crop. In soccer, the top is the World Cup. In hockey, it's the Stanley Cup, etc. You get the idea. In magic, it's FISM. It's an acronym, FISM. And they only hold FISM competitions every 2 years. And when you hold a title, you hold that title for the world's best X for 2 years. Well, he won. Come to find out after this fact, he held the title for the world's best close-up comedy magician for 6 years in a row. So wow. For 3 times, he beat out everyone. And he charges a couple of $1,000 an hour for mentoring. And so about a month later, he comes back into the shop. Come to find out he was on tour or doing gigs. He comes back in. He asked to see the stuff, and I didn't know this until after the fact. And or I didn't know this until after he left that first time after that 2-hour session. And the store manager was just sitting back. You have no idea what you just got, do you? I'm like, no. And so the fun random fact. So that's the story. And the fun random fact is he came back a month later and saw the progress that I made off of what he taught me. And he offered me a gig to open up for him at his tour with him in Open.
Wow.
And I said no because I wanted to finish school. And then this ironic part is I never finished school because I'm going to school for graphic design and photography. I got all my stuff done. I don't need to take this math stuff. They're not going to look at my I don't need a degree to get this stuff or to get a job. So yeah. So I could have been
awesome.
A professional magician to a much higher degree than I was.
So I've got a couple of decks of solid plastic cards that I love to use. Oh, I know where they are. I'm looking on my shelves. They're not on my shelves. I know where they are. Next time we meet up, when you're back in town, I know you're in Texas now. Next time we meet up, I'm going to have to show you one that my dad taught me when I was a kid. But I know close-up magic is like the hardest thing in the world because your sleight of hand has to be like on point amazingly. So I'll show you mine. You'll probably like uncover it instantly, but I'd love to sit there and watch the ones that you have. So you may need to brush up over the next couple of weeks before we meet again.
Totally.
All right. So that's it for the formatted questions. So for those of you watching, this will have already been cut into several different segments because 10 minutes is the limit. Let's actually talk about the challenge that we're going to be doing and see if we can figure that out. And then from there, it'll be kind of like whatever comes up next. So I think it was yesterday, I texted Keith randomly and said, hey, let's do a challenge. I bet you basically my agency can get you more leads through LinkedIn than you can produce through SEO. But I was like, I know this isn't like a 1-for-1 thing, and SEO takes time. Like, it's not really fair to have like a 30-day challenge, because like I can get 3,000 leads from LinkedIn in 30 days, and SEO may just be taking off. SEO is definitely the long game. So we were trying to brainstorm earlier, like what would be fair, like a fair metrics to use, or whatever. But anyway, it is more for fun than it is, of like I'm better than you or he's better than me or any of that kind of nonsense. It's more just to have fun, demonstrate how things work.
But we do know the truth, though.
Yes, we do. I mean, if you want to go there, yes, we do. So, I mean, we could just. I
mean, 30 days. You do have more hair than me.
All right. So, what do you think is a fair metric and time frame, and like what do you think would be like? Actually, I would love to do your networking thing. Like, you go build my personal network for me by you shaking the hands, and I'll do the automation on the back end. Just kidding. But seriously, what would be a challenge?
So I have a really big, like 5,000 word post coming out, and I want it to be the best of the best, And so I am going and emailing. It's resulting in I'm engaging with these influencers in a way that's resulting in an email to let me show you or read you. So Neil Patel, I sent him an email eventually, it finally led to an email, and I asked him, hey, I would love your feedback on this post. That was the ask. And he came back and he said, yeah, totally. He said, we'd love to see it. And he said, no changes needed. Really good post, and congrats on the results. That's huge. And that's in regards to the client.
From Neil Patel. From Neil Patel?
From Neil Patel.
Dude, that's awesome.
Can you see that?
Send me a screenshot, and I'll put it into the video. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and he said, and because it's in a Google Doc, all the screenshots are low res. And so his only feedback criticism was make sure when you post it, the screenshots are easy to read, because the screenshots of the Google Analytics with the names blurred out.
Yeah,
that's the whole. Like, if I don't have proof, then no one's gonna believe anything in the post until I have 2 or 3 of those screenshots.
Yep, and for those that are watching, by the way, I have seen this. Like, Keith shared it to me. It's been a week. I think you said you were like, first he said he was 95% done. Then he said, well, make that 93. So he's like 93% done about a week ago. I read through it. I think it was 50-something pages back then. Is that sounding right to you?
It's 4,800 words in total. And
okay, you go by word count.
Yeah. And so I have I have another influencer. So like his cousin, Sujin Patel, the one I mentioned earlier.
Right.
Sujin he doesn't have time to create a video for me, but he's like, hey, because he's really good at outreach. And he was like, hey, here's these bullet points, talk about these and content around it. And so I'm going to create a video and, put a paragraph or 2 of context in there. And so then that's going to be increasing the word count. And so there's little things out there that's just a few things that need done before it actually goes live. But yeah.
Very cool. So what's the plan with this document? And if for people that are watching and let's try to like tie the gap. So most people that are in personal branding, especially I think most of the people that are going to be watching this in the very beginning are going to be people that they just put out videos. They make a lot of posts all the time. They don't have a big funnel. They may not even have a website, or maybe they do, but the leap to going to SEO seems daunting because, oh my God, now I've got to do a 5,000 word post. I got to go do all this research. But I think there's an easy win that if I'm making content, how can I go do, the 5-minute or 10-minute or 1 hour, whatever, short term term search so that when I'm making videos, I'm using the phrases and the terms because like you upload to YouTube, they're going to make subtitles out of that for you. And then they're going to index. YouTube's going to index off of the words that you said in the video. If you put subtitles, like with LinkedIn videos, like whatever, the words that you use ends up being your SEO, even if you don't have a website. And then if I know if I do that smart today, then when I build my website, like I've already got some momentum from social heading into that. Could you bridge the gap there and like give some advice for people that they haven't gone where they feel like they need a full SEO, but they need to start thinking that way? Where's the value for them?
Okay, so can I take a minute to answer that?
Dude, you can take as long as you want. You're the authority.
All right, then, son. Here we go. No. Okay, so yes, SEO takes time. And it took a year and a half, 18, 20 months to go from 300,000 to 3 million monthly visitors. But to get to your first 1,000 visitors even, in the beginning, you don't need to think, oh, SEO. So like for myself, I'm not thinking, oh, I have to do all this SEO stuff and start growing it. And while I am focused, I am making sure that certain dots are crossed, or dots are dotted and certain T's are crossed. My site is basically brand new, right? I don't even know if it's 1,000 visitors a month. Last time I looked, if that gives you any indication, last time I looked a couple months ago, that month it was 1,000, but like I'm starting from essentially scratch. I have 3 blog posts, whatever. How do I say this? If you produce content that's amazing and you do it right, the benefits of SEO will happen and you will rank. So you don't have to be like, oh, I got to create content for Google. Oh, I got to go get backlinks. I got to do all this stuff. If you just skip that and you just produce content that answers your ideal user or ideal reader's problem and you promote it, you're going to get links, you're going to get leads, you're going to make connections, and you're going to most likely make money. It's just going to happen. So for like this big post that I'm launching the first of the year, I'm getting a ton of feedback on. I'm asking a bunch of people for feedback, and they're going to promote it and all this jazz. And when it goes live, I'm not asking for links. I'm not doing anything. I'm just asking the handful of people strategically that I've reached out to share it. And they've already agreed to share it. Everyone that I've asked. And hopefully I'll get a ton of traffic from it. And Google will know, because I have Google Analytics set up, Google is going to know everything that they're going to need to know from it. And the more I promote it in the right way, the more links will naturally come and the more it will naturally start to rank for whatever it's ranking for, whatever I try to go after, So with that being said, in this post, this is actually part of my process. It's part of my process and it's detailed quite well in this post. So one free tool to get some really solid data from is Uber Suggest. It's actually Neil Patel's tool. It's entirely free. If you just Google UBER Suggest, SUGGEST, it'll come up. Or you can find it under tools at neilpatel.com. And it is a tool that is going to give you a good bit of 80% accuracy on backlink data. So what I can do is I can go to some big popular website, copy their URL, and I can put their URL into Uber Suggest, and it's going to tell me their most popular content in regards to how many links it has, how many shares it has on 2 or 3 different platforms. It's still growing. The tool is still growing, and he's still adding to it, and it's always going to be free. It's amazing.
Wow.
But it also gives you keywords that they're ranking for and gives you tons of other data. So I can go, let's say you're in personal branding. Who's a personal branding influencer that you know of and that you follow, Richard?
Well, so Gary Vee would be an obvious one.
Okay, so Gary Vee. I'm going to go to probably GaryVaynerchuk.com or Gary Vee, whatever his main URL is, where all of his content is hosted. I'm going to take that URL. I'm going to punch it into Ubersuggest. And if for the people who want to pay for a more expensive and a much more beefed up version of Ubersuggest, it's Ahrefs, Ahrefs.com. It's like $100 a month minimum, but it's going to give you so much more data and so many more tools for doing research and tons of other stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get your URL, punch it into Ubersuggest, and Ubersuggest is going to tell me his top content that's performing the best in regards to actual how much traffic it's getting, how much these are getting shared, how much backlinks these are getting, what keywords he's ranking for. And even if you're not focusing on SEO, you can still get these keyword ideas and produce content on them. You produce content on it and put them on LinkedIn. And you can see what his content is doing, or whoever this person is that you're putting their URL into. And you can do it to many people. And you'll be like, oh, let's say you take a keyword then and you punch in this keyword. You can get all the top posts from a lot of different places on this keyword. And you can be like, okay, these are the top posts. This is what's working. I'm going to make my version, and then you put it out on LinkedIn. So it's a great free tool, 100% free. Even if you log in, there's no upgrade. You can't give money to this. And he has no intention of ever making it a paid version, or making it paid in any form. And he's going to make money from it because someone's going to buy his other products because they were attracted to how amazing this tool is. Anyway, so you can do a solid bit of research with Ubersuggest, put it out on whatever platform you want. But then once you have your content produced, and I detail this inside of my post that I'm getting all this feedback on, that's 98% done or whatever now. You can use a tool like Mailshake, MAIL Shake, and you can email a bunch of people really quickly. You send one email and it sends like however many you set it up to do. It's pretty easy to do. It's a mail merge software, and you can how do I say this? In fact, I retract that. In the beginning, personally DM or email whoever you want this feedback from. And so here's the first process, or the first couple emails. You engage with them on social for a week, get on their radar, become a blip, and then shoot them an email asking for feedback. Hey, I really loved your post this week on XYZ topic. No, I wouldn't say that. Try to craft an email, and I give an example in this post. Try to craft an email that is very obviously not templated. So a template would be, hey, Richard, I saw you just created a post or produced a podcast or a video, whatever, with Keith Breseé on SEO. Really love the content. I wanted to reach out to you because I thought you'd be interested because you have SEO topics, SEO content. I wanted to see if I could show you my content as well. Or here's my content and give you the link.
Yeah, even better. Insert my link
that
here.
Type of
yeah.
Right. And everyone has been doing that type of outreach for 7 years-ish. Don't. So in this post, I give an example of this chick that I wanted a link for this client that who must not be named. It was a very authoritative website I was getting a link from out of 100. So for context, a domain rank is like scale of 1 to 100. How much SEO authority does your domain hold? Facebook, CNN, Fox, those are all 100. Forbes, 100 or 98 or something like that. Neil Patel, he's in the 70s. Whoever else, Gary Vee, he's probably going to be 70, 80 or higher. You get the idea. this chick was in charge. She was the gatekeeper to giving me a link that was, I can't remember. It's in the post. It's over 80. I want to say it's 82, maybe 92. I can't remember. Again, it's in the post. But my first email to her, the subject line, in fact, let me see if I can pull it up real briefly on my phone.
I'm gonna see if I can find the post.
Subject line. It's blurry on my phone for the screenshots. I love blueberry milkshakes more than you, or I love blueberry milkshakes, cheesecake blueberry milkshakes more. Wink. And that was my subject line. And I send in the post, I have screenshots of the email thread, and I said in the first email, I basically said, hey, I saw you loved blueberry cheesecake milkshakes. I do too. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. And she's in San Diego. And I said something to the effect of, have you ever tried them from this Gardiavelli place? And she's like, yes, that's where I get them from. And so we have a conversation and we connected on something that I did research on, and she connected with, and she responded because I'm not asking, hey, I saw you. She responded because I did not do that template that I said a minute ago.
Right.
I sent her a real email because she's a real human. And 7, 8 emails later, I got the link. But it started because I rung a bell for her. I talked about something that resonated with her. Blueberry cheesecake milkshakes. They're so good too. If you're ever in San Diego, Gaslamp District at Gardiavelli. Just saying.
Okay.
Right. And we connected on that, and it worked. And you can't scale that. You can't send a template to those sorts of people. And I still know her to this day. Like, I talked to her a month ago. We don't talk as often now, but like, I still know her. She's a friend, and me and her boyfriend are working on something together, and they're now in Bali. And it all started because I sent her this email a year and a half ago, not a year and a half ago, but more than a year. Fall of 18. What is it? 19? Yeah. Yeah. Because I sent a real email to a real person and I spent time on it. You can't scale that. So I say all that to say, back to what I was saying earlier, you do your research with Uber Suggest, create your content, make it a masterpiece. Even if it's content that, whatever it is, you just want it to shine. And I'll go into that in a second. And then you just reach out to people and you say, hey, eventually once you connect with them via email, whenever the time is right, then you ask them, hey, I have this post. And then you ask them can I share it with you? Or can I get your feedback? And once they say yes, then you give it to them. And then once they've given their feedback, then you can naturally say, hey, once it goes live, you can say, hey, whoever, Richard, I added your feedback and I really appreciated it. It is now live. I would be honored if you would share it. Boom.
Yeah, I think
and it worked.
This sounds a lot like the Benjamin Franklin bias. Is that what it's called? So Benjamin Franklin said, if you want to get someone to do you a favor, get them, like, you want them to do favor A, first get them to do you favor B. And his example was, if he's trying to pass a bill in the Senate, he sees this coming up like in months from now. He would go to the key people that he knew would be like swing votes or whatever, and he'd ask to borrow a book from their library. Doesn't make a lot of sense today. We'd mail somebody a PDF, but back then, books were a very rare thing. So getting someone's book out of their personal library, they were basically giving you a really big favor. And then you just borrowed the book, whether you read it or not, I don't know. But then later he'd give them the book back. But because now this person feels like they're more important, and I'm in this, I help you, and you're less than me, maybe not exactly less than me, but you get the idea. Then the next time when it comes around time for the bill, it's like, hey, could I ask you to do me a favor? Now this person, in their mind, they're playing benefactor to this lesser person. And so they're likely to. It sounds a lot like the the bias or whatever that thing is called behind your strategy, which is really, really cool. The other thing that I really heard a lot is if you want a high value from someone, you better invest high value in them. You can't scale at that level. So
Totally.
yeah, totally. That's great.
I want to comment on that. But I have to get my charger really quick because I went from 90 to 5% very quickly, faster than I anticipated. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yes, that is a perfect analogy or perfect story. That's exactly what's happening. So in regards to giving people value and to eventually receive value, because who wants to be in a non-reciprocal relationship?
Right. Well, it's all one way. Yeah.
So this client who must not be named, with this 3 million monthly visitor case study, I was talking to them for about 6 months before we actually signed a contract. And so prior to that 6 months, 9 months prior to the 6 months, the guy, I'm not gonna say his name, the guy, my contact there, their only SEO at this big company, 100 marketers and 1 SEO, he struggled. Their traffic was flatlined for 9 months, and he didn't know what to do. Someone introduced us here in Nashville. Actually, it was an introduction from someone at HCA. And we introed, and for 6 months, I met up with this guy granted, he became a really good friend, but I was doing this strategically. And I was like, when you're having these relationships, you can't give expecting anything.
Right.
I was giving to him hoping for a friendship. And he's a great friend today, really good friend today. And if a client contract thing resulted, then great. If not, I have a friend, and your network is your net worth. And he was the SEO for a really big company. And so I helped him for 6 months. I made him look like a genius. I took that 6 months, they were below 280,000 monthly visitors. And he was one man and he couldn't get everything done. And so he focused on stuff, and that took them to 400,000 monthly visitors, like 380, 400-ish. And he was like, I remember he texted me and said, "Hey, let's meet at Ugly Mugs. I got something for you." So we met up at Ugly Mugs, and he walked in with a $400 bottle of rum. I like rum. And he walked in, and I didn't know I knew it was alcohol of some sort, but he walked in, handed it to me, and I was like, and I know the brand, and I was like, and I opened up, and out of this super nice case, I opened it up. I'm like, "What's this for?" He's like, "You got me a promotion." So, and this is before I signed a contract. And he was like, after the promotion, my boss, who is the VP of this company, VP of marketing, he was like, my boss asked me, "So what happened? We were flatlined for 9 months, and then all of a sudden we're getting crazy growth. What did you do?" And he was like, "Well, then I had to tell him about you at this point." Me, Keith, he had to tell him. And he was like, "Well, bring him in. Let's talk to him. Let's see what else we can do." And then I don't even think it was a month later. It was 2 to 4 weeks later, we actually finally got a contract signed. It was around a month. But point is, I took this guy out. I became a friend, and I helped him. I added stupid value, got him a promotion, and then he got me a really nice bottle of rum, and then a contract. And the contract, I'll say this: the starting contract was 12 grand a month, 12.8. Yeah,
that's decent.
I thought so. But yeah, and I have other clients that pay more and other clients that pay less. But either way, I was grateful for it. And I gave and I gave and I gave. Another guy, he is the founder of a company. I don't know if I can say this. I don't know if I can say who he is or anything. So I'm just for caution's sake, I'm not going to. But he is a owner of a vape company. Vape, they're not a vape. It's a essential oil diffuser that you use for your mouth, and they have organic oils that help promote different states of mind. It's actually a really cool product. And I wanted to land this guy as a client, and he loves, and so his company makes, at this time, was making about 18 million a year. And he took his girlfriend out. He's older, like in his 60s. He's a retired doctor, orthopedic surgeon. And he took his girlfriend out. I said, let me rephrase that. He would love taking his girlfriend out and gloating on her, or he spent tons of money taking her out to eat, doting on her. And he, like, his son, the stories he would tell me about, your dad took her where? Like, they flew to Paris for like a day and a half just so he could take her to this one place. They ate and came back. So expensive quality food that was expensive, that just resulted in being expensive. Quality food was really important to him. So what do you think I did to get this guy as a client? I took them out in Nashville to every expensive place that I could. And I spent, it was either $3,200 or $2,800. I know it was within $200 of $3,000. So it was 28 or 32 in meals before we signed a contract. And again, I was hoping for a contract, but I'm still friends with this guy and his family today. And you go after becoming their friend and you give, and if something else happens, great. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm sure people are going to want to know, when can they get their hands on the post that you're making that's been reviewed? What are your plans long term with that? Like, I don't know, so many questions popping in my mind. I guess let's start with that one. So when is it going to be released? I'll be able to share out a link to it whenever you release it, but do you have a time frame?
Oh, it's got the chills. It's cold here. I'm hoping I'm going to launch no later than the 4th. But I suspect it'll be live before then. But at minimum, it'll be the 4th.
January the 4th.
Yes.
Okay. And then you can hit me with a link and I'll share it out. So for those that are watching, if you want the link, make sure you make a comment or whatever, because I could definitely just come back and reply to these posts, with that link and say, hey, here's Keith's thing. Okay, so if I do some real quick keyword research, now I'm a little bit more on target with my videos or whatever my content is. It's a little bit more SEO-able. Even if I don't have a website or whatever.
Right.
Where's that point where, okay, like, because I'm definitely the DIY guy, so like I'm going to do the thing myself, but I know that I'll get in trouble if I try to do it all myself. At what point is it like, okay, Richard, you really need to come to an expert now? Like, there's so much that I can do by myself. Where's the line of, okay, the pool's too deep for me to swim in this anymore, and it makes more sense to hand this off to someone else so that I can do the thing that I'm really good at, which is not going to be SEO.
Right. So I tell this to, I think, every client, or at least before. Every person who inquires to work with me, I tell them this when they ask, how much does it cost, or how long will it take? What sort of results do you expect? And I say, quite unfortunately, it depends every time, because this client who must not be named, I feel like we're in Harry Potter world or something. Right? Voldemort, he who must not be named. We started at 12.8 and then grew. And the reason we were able to grow the results is because unfortunately they had the budget. And so the budget increased, and then it increased. I think it increased 2 or 3 times, something like that, at least twice. And that was because we were like, oh, we want more fire on the gas. So it depends on your budget. If you have zero budget, you're just gonna have zero budget. If you have zero budget, reach out to people and ask for advice, read tons of blog posts or whatever sort of content that is going to be helping you achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. But once you have, some money to work with, then that's when, at minimum, you should start at least inquiring to see what different people are charging for different services. So like me, I have people that pay, a lot of money, and I have people who pay a lot less money, and then I have people who pay even less for like group coaching. So it's less investment from me, but they still get direction and value. Then I have other people who are just like, yeah, we don't want to produce any content. We don't want to do any SEO. We don't want to do any links. Keith, here, do it. And obviously those people are going to pay more than the group coaching people or whoever.
Right.
So it just depends on how fast, where do you want to go with your results, how fast do you want to get there, and what budget do you have. And unfortunately, it comes down to those questions.
So back to the challenge. Like what's a legit challenge? If I bring you 3,000 leads, now it's not going to be that high touch like you have. It can be a one of the things that I do with my agency is I love having a soft intro to people. Yours was definitely a lot softer because you started off with milkshake, for example. Whereas mine, because it's at scale, you can't find milkshake, about everybody. So instead, I usually do something like, hey, I've just started a journey. I've just started something in personal blogging like Facebook or email newsletter. And would you like to look over my shoulder and watch me as I do this? Or some and definitely no link. And it's only like 1 or 2 sentences max, because the red flags go up when you just connect to someone, for example, and you got like 3 paragraphs in a link. It's like, dude, you're trying to pitch me so hard. So I usually just send people, even contacts I've already had, I'll send them 1 or 2 sentences, and it's just that soft intro like that. I ask them if they would be interested. I don't say, would you like for me to send you the link? Or I don't even do stuff like, give me your email address. Even on the first one, like, you just don't do any ask other than, are you interested? Would you like to look over my shoulder? Would you like to follow along? Just real low key, almost no commitment. Then when they reply back with yes, most of them will. It's 3 categories. It's a yes, or 4. Yes, no, they ignore you, or they say, give me more information. And then it comes, I have some copy and paste that I'll put in for depending on what they say. Like typically no's, I'll just give them a thumbs up. It's like, okay, you're not my ideal client, so I'm cool with that. But for the rest of them, I have like some copy and paste that I'll put in, and then I'll edit it a little to fit exactly how they responded, or our relationship that we already had, or whatever. And in that one, I'm typically giving the legit ask, like, cool, give me your email address and I'll personally add you. It's like, that's such a soft, again, like white glove touch, instead of like, cool, here's the link, go opt in. It's like, oh my God, like, no, don't do that. Because when I say I'm going to personally take care of you, again, it's that personal connection. So anyway, like, I can definitely agency that kind of stuff. And like I said, we're talking, it depends on if we message contacts you already have, we're talking 4,000, 4,500 in a month. If you're going after totally new connections, we're talking around 3,000, 2,500 to 3,000 a month, that I get hit up with this right into your LinkedIn. And the really cool thing I love about LinkedIn marketing is you can give specific keywords. Like, I just want to go after people that have these keywords that's related to their job, obviously. And Facebook is great for personal demographics. whereas LinkedIn is really good for business demographics. So I think this would work well for something for you. So like what would be a good, like if I can do this on agency side to send you people, what would be a good counter for the challenge part, like that you would be able to do? Even if it's like coaching me through writing a 5,000 page article or a 5,000 page article. Oh my God, please don't do that. Maybe like coaching me through a 5,000 word article.
Hey, yes.
Yeah.
No 5,000. We're not lawyers or lawmakers.
Yeah, I'll download something from Capitol Hill. Yeah. So what would or worse, like some kind of military missile system, book or something would be that big. So what would be a legit challenge of some that would be kind of apples to apples for our challenge?
Right. What type of, okay. So I could do a portion of or walk you through the feedback to, hey, can I get your feedback? Then will you share this type of approach and get that going? But then again, you still need content for that. So then, like in this post that I'm talking about, we've referenced a dozen plus times. It has to be like amazing. Like I had one influencer I sent it to, and he responded this morning, and he just responded after reading it, "Wow, ... amazing," all capitals. And then he was like, "Dude, yeah, totally, blah blah blah." Like those are the responses you need to get, and so you need that level of content. So I could walk you through one, creating the content, because you have to have that. If your content sucks, everything you're going to try to do is going to fail entirely. At least with content marketing and SEO. So I could walk you through that, like give you very specific, hold your hand through that. And then depending on how long that takes you, we could either stop there or fast forward to the promotion part to actually get you traffic. And then of course that traffic, I can show you a super simple way that will, I haven't looked at your site, sorry, but a super simple website homepage or a page that we can have this traffic coming to that'll generate leads with minimum average conversions, hopefully higher than average, but yeah, and that'll be a super simple thing.
Okay.
Like if you go to my homepage, keithbreseé.com, that's converting at 4-ish%. My homepage, granted, I think there's only 1 or 2 pages that are live right now because I'm revamping everything, but it's converting at 4%. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think one really good one that I could start with that would probably be 5,000 words is going to be how to really start as a personal brand. Like, here's what you see people doing. This is why that doesn't work, and I can make that section kind of short. Because I don't think there's a lot of value in telling people don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. I think people really need to know.
I'm gonna stop you.
Yep.
Stop you. So my post, there's sections of my post that are very, very strategic. And my AirPods are dying, just to let you know. So I might have to switch over to my internal computer headphones. My post was completely mapped out by someone else that's not me. And who is that? Other people who have better content than what I had. So what I put
strategically, because I'm going to.
Yeah, it's just I can hear you. Yeah, it automatically switched. It is buzzy though. It sounds totally different.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I did my research, and based off of that research is then what determined what went into this piece of content. And I thankfully had the expertise and things to be able to put in there that were needed. But I first researched what was needed, and then I created it. So you can, and I would definitely write down those assumptions, what you think it will need, but then you go research, and then you figure out, you get the hard data. Yes, this is what it needs, and then you produce. But like the things you were just saying that I interrupted you on were the assumptions, but then you validate those assumptions with data.
Yep. Okay. So I think this is probably actually where the real value is. I think this is probably a long play, our challenge. So maybe
It doesn't have to be 30 days.
Yeah. Well, I could definitely give you 30 days of agency for sure. To help, like, to set that as a bar. And then but I think what's going to happen is, if you coach me or whatever through making that one piece of content, doing it correctly, and then sending out to get the links, we can just take measurements. What does that look like at 30 days, at 60 days, at 90 days, at 6 months? I think in the long run, Keith, I'm going to win on this one. Like, okay, let me set up the challenge thing. If I outperform whoever I challenged, even though I win because I sent them more leads, they win because they got the leads, right? So in this sense, like, you probably will win the challenge part, because the work we do long term will bring me a lot more leads than what I can give you in 30 days. So you win, but in another sense, actually, I'm the guy that wins, because I'm the one that's getting those leads long term. Plus, you gave me hopefully a skill that I'm smart enough to reuse. So
yeah, this piece of content that this same blog post we've been talking about, I'm planning on not creating any other content, like major content like this, for at least another month and a half. I have another one that's already almost done, that will go live, but it's another 5,000 word piece, but it's already done. I'm just revamping it. I'm updating it. It's actually an interview with Neil Patel, on blog content promotion. But yeah.
Okay. So
I'm just
I'm wondering
agreeing with you.
Yeah.
It should.
So
you should win.
I'm going to win one way or the other. You win one way or the other, which is really cool too. So, if we need to even up things, and I need to give you more agency, like, because this, like, long term ends up getting insane. That's like, I'm so happy to do that. Let me think. What was I going to say? Oh, so how would you like to do this as a case study? So here's one thing that I've done.
Yeah.
So I've got a list from all the work that I've done over the past 10 years in marketing, my own product launches, almost 4,000 people that I've individually helped, their business, a brand, whatever. I have started over from zero. Like, I have built the list that I have today. It's over 400. Woohoo! And I've only been doing it for 2 to 3 weeks.
3.
Say that again.
It's better than 3.
Yeah, that's true. So I've got 400. And actually, I only did it heavy for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then I've taken a break. My attention has been on other things. I've had to go get other stuff done for my business. But the thing that I really dislike about marketers is they say, hey, if you want to make a lot of money, make a course or make a product, and then they don't tell you and mail it to your list. Or you would know, wait a minute, I don't have a list, so I can't make any money at that. Instead, they say, make this course, make your product, whatever, and I'm going to show you how to make your product. And then look at all my clients that I have and look at all the money they made. And so then you get suckered in, you pay a couple grand, you build out this course, and then because you don't have an email list or you have no channel to go market that, like, it's a total flop. So I haven't even emailed the 400,000. that I have in my previous business list. I didn't even email any of them. Like, so there's absolutely no cheating going on. I literally started where I was, and coming up from ground zero. The Facebook group, I think I think after a week, maybe we've topped 30 people. So I'm definitely trying to do like,
that's great.
Look over my shoulder, watch what I'm doing, copy and paste me, because this is what really works. Or watch me fumble around and make some mistakes, and then don't do that thing. So I think this would actually play well for both of us if I did like, hey, look over my shoulder. Keith is teaching me how to do this. If you want Keith's help, go see Keith. Also, if we did it from the perspective of a case study, this could be something then I'm thinking that you could use. Like, hey, watch this case study of exactly how I did this. And now you can copy and paste and have Richard's results. So they're like, this is the real win. So for those of you that are watching, this is the point of the challenge. The challenge isn't who can get the most leads. You know, the challenge is, can you take what you're working on and leverage it multiple times and in different ways to like compound or exponentially grow what you're doing, instead of just thinking, I'm going to make this one little post and I'm hoping to get, you know, one person to opt into my list. Like that's the definitely worst way to do your marketing. Instead, how can you leverage what you're doing exponentially? So what do you think? Case study along the way with the challenge?
Yeah.
All right.